play football and soccer and all sorts of things. However, I had enough of playing games and not being able to get out of the camp. So I start suffering psychologically, you know. You become a psychopath. I don't know where this is the right expression. I just couldn't take it. I could not. I decided I can't stay here, and it was mad because where would I go? I was a prisoner, but I thought I must get out. I must leave. This is gonna ruin me. So I talked to a friend, Brinkman. I talked to Brinkman because he was my main player in chess. We played chess together. And I said, I can't even remember his given name anymore. I said, I have enough of this. We have to get out of here. He said, yeah. I said, that's a mad idea. I said, you might be mad, but it's worth a try. What do you think? So we talked to Negroes. We worked with them in the fields, and they said, well, we can't help. We couldn't possibly help you. They said, but they gave us information. We were close to the Mexican border, and they said there's certain trains going at certain times across, and they already checked, and they go across the border after they have been checked to Mexico. And they said if you get on one of those trains, you come to Mexico. Mexico will not send you back to the States. And said, well, it's worth a try. I was at the time. I was, I think for a month or so. I wasn't going to the farm. I was working in the laundry. And there was big laundromats, and for all the army shirts and uniforms. So I confiscated some of the uniforms from for the two of us, because we couldn't escape with BOW on the sleeves and everything. And then we decided, I said, we climbed the fence, which was 8 foot high, and then there was padded on top with razor sharp barbed wire. And I said and there was one machine gun, 2 machine guns in the camp, diagonal, one, each one had 2 sides to control, because there was a firing line of 1.5 meters inside the camp, all around the camp, and it was marked, well marked. If anyone overstepped that line, he was shot. So we decided to escape at midnight on the dot. So in the night time, because of the humidity, they covered them with tarpaulin, the machine guns, and the guards, they were usually semi-asleep because nothing was happening, nothing was happening in the night. So we were from the fence, the amenity block, the washrooms and the toilets block was only about 2 meters from the fence. So we stood in the shade of the lights. There were big lights everywhere, and waited for the last minute of midnight, and then we ran and jumped up on the fence and over, and I got caught, and I fell face down on the ground, but it was an abandoned rice field, an old rice field, overgrown with a lot of grass and all sorts of things. I was about a meter high growth on it. So we jumped there and then we started running zigzag, because we thought that if they turn the machine guns or something, if they should see us, but we were running lower than the table, and we were running. It's amazing what they can do when your life depends on it. We were running non-stop. I would say for about a half an hour. Never stopped, and we didn't speak a word. We just ran, and then we were a couple of kilometers from the camp, and then the siren were going, and they had floodlights. They were very strong flights. We could read the papers where we were. Although we were a couple of kilometers away from camp. And then of course we could hear the dogs. We could hear dogs barking in the distance because they were running and trying to find us with their dogs, watchdogs. But we got away. And
Hey Mike, do you want to ask something?
Okay.
No, you.
Yeah.
He just told you about the escape. Anything to do with this?
and we were on that day in the evening after 8 o'clock. We should have boarded that train going across the Mexico. We only had about 2 kilometers. We could see the train line and everything, and there was a climb. It was on a climb, the railway, and I thought we go there, and then hide until it gets dark, and when the train comes, then we'll jump on it. But my partner, his upbringing, he said, no, he said, it's better we hide here. It's not good to go all the way. Somebody might see us and identify us. I said, silly. I said, nobody here, farmland. As far as we could look to the horizons, were sometimes only one field. And I thought there's no one. And then we saw. We were stopped and we had something to eat. And then we saw a car coming from a long distance, an old Chevrolet. And then negroes, they used to drive those custom line cars, big bombs around, we didn't take any notice of them. And the car came closer and closer. So I thought, it was like the nearest farm. And all of a sudden we saw them going across the field. And that, I thought, isn't that strange? I said, they're coming close to us in our direction. And before we knew it, they came to about 150 meters close and suddenly stopped it. The front of the car touched the ground, so suddenly they stopped it. And 3 FBI men jumped out of the car, both with 2 guns, and said, drop everything you have out of your pockets and everything. And so on. And then one of the 3 stepped up to us and checked us out. And they said, okay, now we go back where you came from. So we sat in the back seat of the big car, and one of the guards, he sat on the side of us. He had the gun at us from the side. And then the second one sat next to the driver, and between the seats, he had the guns at us. So we had nothing. We had absolute nothing. I don't know why they were. I don't think they were scared. They were most likely army rules.
protocol.
Yeah, I would say, I should imagine. Anyway, we traveled with them and then to Dallas. And in Dallas, they took us to the police station, and we spent the night there. Spent the night in the police station, and the next day we went back to the main camp in Camp Swift, to the head camp. And there we were interviewed by all the journalists from the papers. There was a panel of journalists all around, and they used to ask or crisscross all kinds of questions from the moment we left. We were born, I would say, from the moment we were born, and they wanted to know what motivated us to escape. They couldn't understand this. They said, "Oh, you're two young Hitlers. What can you expect?"
Too young?
Hitlers, you know.
Hitlers.
Yeah. I said, we were in the Hitler army. I said, and then, of course, they ask all kinds of questions, or how we lived at home, where we were looked after, how many sisters or brothers we had, what we did in studies, and or anything that you could possibly ask, they have asked us.
You know how to do a good interview now.
And then the colonel came, he was the commander of the camp, and he said, now you will be separated. You go in different compounds, with one big compound in between. Should you ever be found together anywhere at all, you go to a special camp where you certainly won't like it. This is heaven here, but there it's hell. He said, you will go to hell. So I advise you not to make an effort to meet again. And I've never met him again. Never.
Never met him again?
No. The next day we were taking a bath, and he went to one of the compounds, and that was the end of our escape. Well, we spent 1 week together in jail. That was our punishment for escaping. So and we because we played chess. We used to talk to each other and draw on paper, And they said, do this, make this and this move, and then he made a game move, and
they played chess while they were on paper. They were making it.
Yeah, just to pass the time. And then the priest came and talked to us, and I used to draw. And we got literature to read, so it wasn't too bad. And I think we had 2 hours outside the camp, outside the jail, per day. And we played outside. We played soccer with a guard. He put his rifle in the corner and he played soccer with us.
That's very nice.
Yeah. You too hot there,
No, I'm fine.
How long had you been in Texas before you escaped?
I think about 9 months.
So you got bored after 9 months.
That's right.
So what do you?
I couldn't take it anymore. I could not take it. It was, I couldn't say. They said, but was it because Hitler wants to win the war or whatever? Did you want to go back to Hitler? I said, no, not at all. I said, I just couldn't stand it to be locked up and have no freedom. And that was the only reason I escaped.